Hello guys, hi everyone, here we are again. Hi Panama, very nice to see you. Hello, hi everyone, hi guys, hi colleagues, hello from Poland, good evening. Hello Carlos. Can you hear me well? Please give me a thumb. Hello from Azerbaijan, hello from Poland, good evening. Hello guys, how are you doing? Please give me a smile. How is your mood? Were you waiting for this interview? As you joined immediately, I'm sure you were waiting. So today we have a very interesting topic, a very interesting question, which seems to be complex because it is easy and difficult at the same time. So the topic is teaching and public speaking. Is there a connection? Are they connected? And today we have our guest from Azerbaijan, Mr. Rauf Pasha-Beyli.
Hello from Azerbaijan.
Hi, hello, good evening. Good evening, Rauf. How are
Good
you
evening.
doing?
Thank you very much. Everything is good. How about you? How are you?
As well, was looking forward to our interview.
Oh, that's great. That's perfect. Well, our interview pretty much is really interesting because it has the modern topic that covers a real problem that our new generation actually faces right now. And also previous generation also did face this problem.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I have immediate question for our audience.
Mhm.
Guys, could you please write in comments below, are you afraid of public speaking, and what was the biggest audience you had to perform in front of? Just write a number, how many people there were that made you feel frightened or so. And it is interesting because approximately 75% of people are estimated to be frightened of public speaking. That's why
Exactly.
today we are going to talk about it. And Rauf actually has very interesting and priceless insights for us. But let me introduce Rauf first. So Rauf is a teacher from Azerbaijan, and he is a TESOL certified teacher. He is running TEDTalks Club at Azerbaijan school. Have I missed anything, Rauf?
Sorry?
Approximately 5 years of
More
experience
likely
in
5 years, yeah, in
more
this
than
field.
five, more
Yeah.
than 5 years.
Uh, Basically, it was a tough experience itself because I had to learn from my own mistakes regarding this, and basically, it was a really interesting way. And nowadays, let's say, that experience gave me a lot of, let's say, way out, so that I can actually share with people and let them know how to be confident and keep the, let's say, keep the fire in the stage, let's say in the simple way, so that they actually can relate to everything. And yeah, basically it's like this.
Right, thank you, Rauf. So our teachers, our colleagues are writing that it was
Mhm.
50 people as audience for 100 people. What about
Wow.
you? What was the biggest audience for you?
Well, 400 is a really perfect number itself. I didn't reach this number for now. Basically, I'm targeting for this. But my biggest number itself was basically 134 people. It was in the conference that was actually held in our, let's say, Hilton hotel, where we had the conference regarding the public speaking again, and it was referring the modern ways of speaking and also the comparison in the previous ages, like how English speech had a lot of, let's say, evolution, and it's the process of progressing, where we as people found new ways to speak and also, let's say, to integrate with people itself. So that was like 134 people itself. That was my maximum.
Wow. And how long was the performance that you
The
completed?
performance itself, we did the group practice, and it was like 3 hours because we were like divided by three people. Let's say three people, they will give the presentation by each. For example, first person, he shows his presentation, second person shows his presentation, and each presentation took like 1 hour, it's and basically it was pretty tough, and to concentrate on this situation where like 134 people just looking at you. And in that moment, basically, you have to keep the pace. You have to keep, like, let's say, confidence. You have to keep yourself in a stable way so that you don't panic, more likely, and you just go through the, let's say, that pressure itself, and you can get the result. That's the main idea.
Rauf, are you confident now? Are you relaxed right
Absolutely.
now?
Exactly.
How can I understand it from your body language? How can I read you?
Well, first of all, let's say body language itself shows that how well we are ready to public speaking. Let's say, for example, let's say the person who is already has a lack of confidence, he most likely just closes up himself in order not to speak. More like this is, or like that, or like doing something action like this. Exactly.
So kind of protecting himself like that.
Absolutely. So in this way, we people and our subconscious mind, we just say, do not give me any question or do not integrate with me because I'm afraid. I don't want to get to the point where I'll be in the center of attention. That's the main idea of the public speaking, where you develop your abilities to overcome this pressure and be relaxed, even if there are a lot of people looking at you. So it's not a problem. You can do anything where you want itself if you are ready, of course. However, there are also some situations where you have to improvise. The improvisation also plays a big role in public speaking. For example, let's say there's some kind of, let's just imagine, I haven't done, for example, this more like a presentation regarding on the improvisation to a lot of people, but for example, if there are 50 people or 60 people, I can do the improvisation, it's not a problem. So look, how it's happening. The improvisation, you go through the process and you do not think basically what you did in your planning, you just go throughout the situation, how it is right now. So for example, even if I plan something, like I say, this will be for sure like this, and I, for example, said, first of all, I will speak about that, second, I will talk about this, third, etc. Believe me, sometimes it doesn't help. Sometimes I say, okay, never mind, I'll just go by myself and I'll figure it out. So basically, this is how it goes, and by this way, we also develop this skill of improvisation. It's really interesting in itself, and because also challenging. It's very challenging itself.
Indeed, because you may have a plan, but you know the plan may not work because you just forgot everything you planned because you're in front of the audience.
We
right?
are like, you know, we are people, and of course, even I, yeah, I can say that I have a lot of experience in public speaking. But even I can forget something, for example, that I said, okay, in this list of actions, I will do this, that, by the order. I imagine it, I visualize it, I see that, I feel it even, but in some situations, like I say, like, oh God, I forgot. Okay, no mind, I'll do it by myself from the stage. It's not a problem.
So does it happen like in majority of cases, if you do the public speech, you actually do not go according to your plan at all? Like in majority, is it like this?
In most cases, believe me or not, it happens like that. I plan everything. I say, okay, this is going to be the outline. This is going to be like this. And boom, I coming out to the stage and I forget everything. I say, oh God, again. All right, never mind. Let's do it by the improvisation. And it works. It really works, and it's actually better than actually the planning system. Because when you plan something, you get kind of nervous when you say something not according to the plan. And especially, like, for example, if something's academic or something regarding the teaching, you're like, okay, I have to memorize. My students watch me, and I have to do everything so that I can, let's say, impress or do the affection. So, but in one moment, you forget something, and you start to feel the anxiety that just fills you up, and you cannot actually fight it. You got the trembling hands, wet hands, and you feel like, oh my God, I can give everything just to leave the stage. But in this moment, actually, you fight your fear that actually comes in the public speaking. This is the idea. We have to fight this feeling, that anxiety that actually comes up to you in this moment.
So two questions immediately I
Sure.
have. Again, how to fight this anxiety, how to calm down. And another question from our colleagues, do you use any techniques to memorize the order of your plan?
All right, so first question, I'll tell you the answer to this. There are so many techniques actually to overcome this fear. First of all, I guess you have heard this, but this is very popular. Like before going to sleep, what you do, you go out, for example, you have a public speaking in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. What you're doing, you're writing a plan, as we say.
Yeah.
You write a plan. You every night before you sleep, you go up to the mirror and you have to tell this as if you are speaking with your audience. Believe me, you are the best critic of yourself. You can find where you lack, where you want to make it better, and you want to enhance some moments. And this is actually the best technique in reality. It's like the best technique ever to practice. Like every night before the public speaking, go up to the mirror and practice it. Of course, there are also other ways. For example, friends. You can say, for example, there also, I love this game. It's called basically Truth or Dare. And a lot of people say, I will not do the dare because it makes someone to feel more likely not comfortable in that situation. But the public speaking itself, it is something that when you feel yourself uncomfortable and you feel that, that pressure. And if you do actions to prevent that, so to get used to it, you can already overcome it. And this is actually the technique. For example, in the game of Truth or Dare, I always choose Dare because I love to be, let's say, in the situation that makes me uncomfortable, but I'm already getting used to this. For example, my friends say, all right, Truth or Dare? I say, Dare. They say, okay, Rauf, you basically have to, for example, go to that street and scream out your name or something like that. Pretty awkward, pretty embarrassed situations. And when I do it, it's not a problem for me, basically. It's a problem for the audience. I don't suffer, they do. So that's the thing. I overcome this fear. This is the little steps that makes you to be ready for any situation like that will make you to feel uncomfortable. And the question number 2 regarding the techniques that help to memorize, actually, if you already know that you will have public speaking in, for example, 3 weeks or 2 weeks, you definitely create something like an outline, like a plan, or simple like something that you will visualize in order to get ready in your, let's say, mind, that you already know, okay, I will say that, I will do that. Even if it will not be like for sure, at least you are already, let's say, kind of visualize it, and you're already getting used to this situation. And techniques itself, basically, what helps me a lot is visualization. I really see something that actually will help me. For example, the order. Let's say if there is something that I want to say in order, for example, public speaking techniques, I memorize, okay, I just visualize the person. For example, body language, and where, for example, I say, this is the technique that shy people use. They close themselves. I imagine like this. Okay, body language will be associated with the person who protects himself. Second, I have to teach, for example, with the voice. For example, what I see or something like what I hear is a person who cannot say anything. So, for example, who says like, "Oh, hello, my name is Rauf Pasha-Beyli." Like that. This is not a confident person for sure. The confident person is the one who actually, I don't say screams, but at least he or she can use the voice in order to make people understand that not he is like confident, but he knows what he wants to say. He knows like why he came here, and he basically can do wherever he basically planned to do already in this time. So that's the point itself. Again, techniques to use is for me, for example, most let's say what works best is visualization. I just see it and I remember it. That's it.
Very fast question. Am I relaxed? Can you read me?
For sure, yes, because I don't see that you're closing yourself. Your mimics are not, let's say, in very intense momentum, and basically the smile itself is first number one signal that you actually are ready for any, let's say, question or let's say challenge or for deliberating any material. Let's say the person who always like that and very intense, he's like, oh no, I don't want to do anything. It's like a robot, you know. And when there is a person like a robot, of course, you can say, oh, come on, what happened? Just relax. Just don't worry and relax yourself, so that in some cases when I go to, for example, public speakings, like when I see their speeches, I just see like the person came and, you know, as if he reads something and he wants people just to make understand that, okay, he's ready. He did anything that he already can, but this is not how it works. In real public speaking, people come, for example, to see some, let's say, insights or some, let's say, advices that will help them to understand the problem and work on this, to, you know, to just get through this. And the people like this, for example, they come, they just say everything, and they finish, they go, they like, thank you, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not like this. It doesn't work like that. First of all, the best public speaking itself is something when you are in interaction with audience, and this is actually a very interesting situation where you actually ask people to ask you a question, and you never know what the actual question will be, and you're like, okay, I'm ready for it, let's do this. And this is the moment that when you're rocking it, and that's amazing actually.
By the way, I would like to remind our colleagues, our dear audience, that you can ask Rauf questions just in comments
Sure, no
below.
problem.
Ask as many as you want, because we are here for you. All right, Rauf. So from my side, the first question, I mean, it's not the first, but the first which I planned. In our ELT world, it is well, it is crucial to practice, of course, speaking skills, right? And what do? We have speaking time, devoted time during the lesson for speaking. We have speaking clubs, we have conversations clubs.
Exactly.
But it is something very usual, and teachers and students got used to it, right? But what you did, you made something different. You created TEDTalks Club at your school. Can you please tell us a little bit more details how it is different from usual conversation club, and what benefit your students get from this club?
All right, so basically I'll start how it all started itself. Before, I was a really shy person, and I actually couldn't even speak during, for example, my university years. I mean, I couldn't like present materials in a proper way. I was like reading from something and that's it. And like even I had some let's say already props. I was like, nah, I have to read everything. I didn't look at the audience. I was like sitting and just reading this so that no one sees, and especially I was avoiding eye contact. This is the also main reason in public speaking that we have to work on is eye contact. If you see someone who actually doesn't look at you, it basically shows that this person is shy. And second, he feels himself or herself uncomfortable. This is number two. And also there are a lot of ways. Also, we going to have soon public speaking, let's say masterpiece that I will be leading. So I'm inviting you and our dear audience to come over, and there will be 2 hours basically, and the details I'll give at the end of the interview. So let's continue. All right, so I was like feeling myself really frustrated in the situations. I was like, okay, I cannot do anything. I was shy. I was like, my hands were trembling. I was thinking about how to quit this situation as fast as possible. But afterwards, like especially when I started this TESOL certification, I was like, okay, this is something really interesting, and this is something that will help students and also teachers just to overcome this feeling of, let's say, embarrassment, because in TESOL courses we had to, let's say, integrate with a lot of students and in another directions, not as we think. For example, as a normal teacher, let's say normal teacher, they just stand up, they say the materials, they just pretend as if they want to just hypnotize you, and that's it. But in TESOL, how it's going? More like not teacher-oriented class, more like a student-oriented class. This is one the reason why TESOL course was essential itself for me. And you know, when I was in this course, first of all, I found myself that I'm okay with public speaking. I'm okay with interaction with students. I'm okay with giving materials in absolutely different ways or and say angles. And actually, this helped me. So before that TED Talk Club, I passed through the TESOL certification. I felt myself, okay, that's perfect, that's easy, that's great. And I'm really thankful to this TESOL certification that was held by an expert, Mr. Samad. He's really good teacher, and he's expert in IELTS courses and also the TESOL courses that are held in SR teaching, where especially I already passed the TESOL certification. And how actually I heard about it was from our teacher who was in University of Languages. She said, all right, is there anyone who wants to overcome this fear of, let's say, public speaking? I was like, I couldn't raise my hand because I was afraid, but I said, yes, 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 I really want to. And after this, like after the lesson finished, I just came up to her and said, I want to overcome this fear. And she said, okay, go to Mr. Samad. He's the person who will help this TESOL certification, and this is the way out on this. And reality is, it really helped me out. So I was already relaxed in the situation. Now, how I came to TED Talks. TED Talks itself, I was watching these videos, like how people go out and talk about really interesting things, let's say how to make your brain to work faster, how to make yourself, for example, and how to, for example, remember anything in 5 seconds or something like this, how sleep actually essential to you. A lot of things like I was watching through this TED Talk and learning it, but what most of all what I did was I was learning how they present the materials. And you know, public speaker can be divided in two types. Public speaker who really like devotes the material, who really helps people, and the second one actually is the one who wants to sell his product. For example, he just comes, all right, guys, hello, this is the thing that you have to do. And of course, you can get this thing in my course, so please sign up. And doesn't work like this. And people say, oh, come on, why we got here then? Why we paid a lot of money to see that somebody will advertise his product? It doesn't work like this. The real public speaking is you come out, you just present your material, you present something that will help to people to overcome why did they came for, and afterwards you give question to people so that to help others also who didn't understand something, and let's say they will more, let's say they will see the picture in all directions. All right, and when I got to the, for example, school which is international in our country, and it's named Landau School, which is really great because it has integration with a lot of students, and also what's the main thing there, the whole study process is going through English language. And so students most likely don't need English, let's say, conversation clubs. Basically, why English conversation clubs are held to practice speaking, to get used to this, you know, sentence structure, to, let's say, connect grammar, vocabulary in the one sentence and create something meaningful. But there's one problem. In our situation, let's say in the whole world, conversation clubs right now, they go through the process which is basically do not goes according with the conversation club. How it happens? You can, for example, let's say you come to the conversation club and you see the teacher speaks out there about his problems, about his something, you know, stories, and you say, okay, so is it teacher-oriented class or is it student-oriented class, you know? And the problem is, like, when you go to conversation class, which is in nowadays situation, it's as if you come to, let's say, psychotherapy, and there's someone like you speak and he says, you know, my problems are like that, and this is not how it works. It's more like a listening situation. So what I thought about to make is to give people ways to speak, at least, even if there's, for example, one person in the room, or if there are like 500 people, doesn't matter. And in this school itself, everybody knows each other. That's the great thing. So everybody like friends, and we are like, okay, let's create a club where we'll be only friends. Let's do like this. And you will be the one who will present material not to the strangers, but to your friends. Well, you feel yourself already relaxed. Of course, there are some students that, for example, they are already in that situation that are uncomfortable. And for example, some, I don't know, maybe there is, maybe there is not, but there is someone, for example, who has no friends at all and says, I want to be alone. We do what? We see already the situation is here a little bit worse than ever. So what we have to do, we have to help this person to get used to at least to 2 people, so that we can add one more, so the audience gets bigger. And the more we practice it, the more actually we get used to this. And of course, the stages of creating this public speaking, let's say like TED Talks in Landau, had some stages. First stage was the documentation stage. We had to create a plan how and what itself is going to be in this club. You cannot go and say, all right, I want to create this club, this is the thing, and this is it. No, it doesn't work like this. You have to create the outline. You have to create what, let's say, the idea of the club itself. Afterwards, you present it to the administration, and you have to get the approval. If they say yes, then perfect. If they say no, then sure, sorry.
They need to understand that it will be beneficial for students, right?
Exactly.
That it will contribute positively. So just to clarify for our audience, guys, probably Rauf will be telling us the steps how to launch such club. So
yeah. So first essential part is you have to create a document, or let's say presentation, let's say in PPT, like PowerPoints. You have to create something that will visualize in people's mind what is going to be your club about. So for example, you come to administration, you show them the document, you show them the files, you show them how it basically will look like, and what feedback it will receive in the future, and also what will be the outcomes of it. This is essential. Before launching something, you have to understand what will be the outcomes, what will be the, let's say, results, also what will be the feedback of other people. The other people will have, for example, we got parents. This is the essential part. We have to get always the perfect feedback. Of course, in some situations we can make some mistakes, but if we are club leaders, if we're leaders, basically we have to plan everything so that we don't have any mistakes.
If you do not make any mistakes, it means you do nothing.
Absolutely, that's also right. However, if you make mistakes throughout the generations, it makes that you already have some problems in your, let's say, integration. That's the thing. So when you coming out to show that what your, let's say, future club will be, you just show in them that this is something good for them and their students, and also why not the teachers too. There are also some teachers that already, let's say, feel stuck and they feel embarrassed while teaching. I've seen some teachers like okay, so today we gonna be. I saw some teachers like that too.
Oh.
So they, of course, they had to go through this, let's say, the conference of public speaking, and even some teachers came out to our say club, and they were really, really happy to go through this, because they were like, why we didn't come to this club before, so that we already know the techniques that will make ourselves to feel relaxed in the situations that are really under pressure. All right. So the second thing, after you show the document, after you present the, let's say, what it will be about, you already have to speak with students that, are you ready for this project? Because we cannot say, okay, surprise, we have this something. The student will be like, okay, never mind. Because let's face the truth. Students, most likely teenagers, they are more likely impulsive, and they say like, okay, come on, who is interested in this? And if you will say them in the right way, like, guys, you know, we're going to hold some, for example, public speaking materials, so come out there, you'll show yourself, you'll for example, be the best speaker. You say, oh, I can show myself, why not? That's interesting.
Rauf, can you please tell me the exact words? How did you attract your students, your pupils? What exactly did you say that they they felt, yes, I want it?
That's actually a very good question. Because every student itself has, let's say, a very keen mind, especially nowadays generation. They feel, let's say, everything. For example, if you want to, I'm sorry, if you want to lie them, they will say, "Ah, teacher, you're lying," and therefore you will not be able to lie them. Absolutely. And you have to say, for example, in their language, in their basic mindset, you have to, let's say, go not down, but at least to the layer level, so that they said, "Oh, it's not the teacher, but it's the teacher and the friend." This is
Yeah,
most
it's not
important.
going down, it's just going to their level of experience, because
Of
yours is a
mindset.
little bit higher, obviously, because of
Absolutely.
the years. So you just come to their stage.
You know, for example, in our situation, like the previous generations, they were like, "Okay, teacher said it must be done, then it must be done." Like teacher is the authority, teacher is
Always right.
God of the classroom, so we have to like do everything by ourselves. But this is not right. This is not the right way of teaching, because teacher should feel his student what he thinks about. For example, let's say the truth. In previous ages, let's say the previous generation, we couldn't actually give a question more likely, because we were afraid to give a question because teacher will be angry, teacher will think that we are stupid, we didn't do anything what he said, and that's why the feeling of fear is not good. Which is better, what will be better is to be the friend of students. That was the way how actually I, let's say, show them that this club will bring them the effort to be the better than they are right now. So after I collected them, let's not collect, let's say after I gathered them around, they were like, okay, this is the opportunity where I can show myself. The opportunity where I can impress, let's say the truth, impress some boys, for example, think girls, boys something, okay, let's say girls will think, okay, I will impress those boys. In reality, what happens, they actually get better in their communication, and they're like feeling themselves absolutely comfortable.
For
Yeah.
how long you've been having this club, and what is the outcome just right now? What is the feedback from the students? What are their results, and what is the feedback from administration of the school, of course?
Okay, so after we gathered the students, we already like launched this TED Talks advertisement, even in the presentation. We, for example, our administration, they said, all right, everyone come out and we will present the clubs. And this club was the TED Talks, of course. After they, let's say, involved, we started the process of selecting the best speakers. How it actually happened. TED Talks, let's say the mechanism in this works in different ways. For example, the first and essential way that we worked was dividing 4 weeks in the month, and we were like saying, okay, first week on Mondays after the school time, because we shouldn't create something that will influence their progress in studies. We shouldn't do this. We should do something that will help them in order to get better. So after the school time, guys, we're gonna have the TED Talks. Come up there and we'll go through this. Okay, so first week goes to the lecture. We provide them lectures, for example, again, what you should do in this, which techniques you need to use, what you have to do in this situation so you can feel yourself comfortable, and etc., etc., etc. Second week, we already coming out to the choosing the topic and creating outline so that students already see what it will be about, how they actually see it. So here it works also the imagination and creativity. Afterwards, what goes next, especially selecting in the third week. We see, okay, so now you guys present us the topic that you choose from previous. They present us and we see, all right, this is basically a good one. We want to, for example, use this presentation or use that presentation because it's beneficial for people. And fourth, the last one, and which is essential, is the real public speaking event. For example, we can say in universities, students come there and they see that, okay, that will be interesting to show up. Then they actually come to the universities, they see the stage, and they start to present the materials. So basically, it's all organized within the school and organization where future public speakers actually come out. And what's the feedback? When parent come, let's say, comes to the place where their child presents material and in front of the, let's say, big audience, he feels a big proud, and he feels that feeling of, oh my God, my child is the best one. Look at my child. And for example, friends, if they come with friends, especially, it happens very majority of times. They're like, you see, this is my child. This, yeah, my child. This happens a lot, and I've seen this. Like, I had a student. She was really, let's say, in intense moments. She couldn't speak. She was very stuck, and parents came and they say, please do something so that she actually can feel relaxed when she speaks and present material. Of course, it took time, and basically we launched this for 1 year for now, and we hope that we'll continue this project, because right now we get more and more, let's say, applications that they want to join us.
So the popularity is growing. This is what I wanted to ask.
The audience itself grows, and that's really a good, let's say, momentum that people want to work in themselves. That's perfect. So what happens? They like, okay, in this situation, parents feels, again, the proud feeling, and they say, okay, this must be the best thing ever, so my child can be the best version. So this is the way how it works with the feedback. The most, let's say, the greatest feedback that we got from a parent that at the end of the public speaking, she came up with tears, and they said, like, thank you very much that you could do this. And actually, that was warm, really heartwarming, and you were like, I really did something. You're like, come on, really, it really worked, and this like this, it works like that, and this is the situation that makes you to feel better for yourself too, that you helped someone at least.
This inspires so much and makes you work even more on this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Bravo. What can I say? Just
Thank you
bravo.
very much.
Excellent. So, Rauf, you mentioned that before launching this club, you completed the TESOL course. So,
yeah.
Did I understand correctly that your actually motivation to go to the TESOL course to get the certificate was that you were not confident, that you did not what was it, that you did not feel confident as a teacher? What was exactly what motivated you, and what did you want to
the spark to, let's say, to get this course was the presentation of Mr. Samad, the course itself. You know, you see someone who presents to you, and you're like, wow, really, this person says the thing that actually can help us, and of course I want to sign in, and why not, I'll try this. And the special motivation was, I wanted to be the teacher that actually can use the creative momentums and, let's say, exercises that are different than we already got to the standards. For example, standard lesson, teacher came, opened the book, I read everything from here, closed the book, went out, that's it. But what is TESOL all about? It's about activities, it's making fun in lessons. It's not a problem. Even if students come to sit, for example, to the, let's say, the ground, it's not a problem. You can sit with them too, and you can continue the lesson. It will make more likely the situation more, as they say, chilled, rather than a situation which is more intense and doesn't let to make study process like a joy. And because more likely people think, okay, joy is something bad, shouldn't study because it's boring, I don't want it. Basically, that's because teacher doesn't do it in the correct way. Why? First of all, you have to do activities, and that's what actually I covered in the TESOL. And second, you have to use, again, the body language, the voice tones, so that you can make the situation like interesting. For example, if you come up to the class and say, hey guys, how are you? Okay, open this book and do this. It will be boring. Every student will be
next to the blackboard, to the whiteboard.
Exactly, absolutely. But if you come, all right guys, let's do this, and today's learning we're going to be like this, and then, oh my God, yes, 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 let's do this. I mean, I'm just
This is our
exaggerating.
guy.
I'm exaggerating this in the situation, but in reality, this is how it works. So the motivation was to be the different teacher, let's say, or the teacher that actually has inspired soul to be the better version of self. That was actually the real motivation. I just want to be the teacher that could help other
And you
students and
definitely
teachers.
succeeded in it. Oh my goodness.
Thanks to this actual TESOL course, really it helped regarding to that situation that I had.
We have a question. How do you cope with your club during the COVID time, during this situation? Is it going online?
Oh, right now this COVID situation is really, really tough. But of course, we have an online courses that we also probably going to launch new generation of that club, which will be in YouTube. So basically, I'm planning to make a new channel itself and let people to see the progress of the TED Talks Azerbaijan, so that they can join us and they can go through the practices. We have, of course, the outlines, for example, the memberships that people, for example, they sign in and they say, okay, teacher, teach me the public speaking. We open up the groups, most likely in the Zoom application, and there we share with each other how it will work in the real life. And this actually really helps to students, even right now, they are at home, they already feel themselves, let's say, relaxed. And they're like, okay, I don't waste anything, why not to try it? And they really do it, and they enjoy this right now. So that's the thing. Right now we are going through the online procedure. Yeah.
Brilliant. Looking forward to seeing it.
Sure.
Dear colleagues, please make sure to follow Rauf at his Instagram and follow his YouTube once it's opened.
Yes, it will be so.
Rauf, and also you were a volunteer at TESOL conference in Baku. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? What is this
Oh my
volunteer
gosh.
experience?
That TESOL conference, it was a really astonishing conference regarding the I was honored to be the volunteer there because I really was interested in that teachers advising that the experts came there. They're like the people with great mindset and the great teaching techniques came out there and they shared the experience. They shared the ideas that they really had there. And I had a lot of joy when I was there. So, and I had an opportunity to meet Paul Harvey, which is the best teacher who uses drama. Drama actually is essential. That's what I understood during his conference. He was the one who opened up insights, gave those insights to people who wanted to make their classes more like active, more not like sit and learn, but more like be active and learn. And afterwards, I was like, so, okay, this is something that I have to work on. And this what was the idea when we showed him the, let's say, the city. I was asking him questions. I was like saying, Mr. Paul, how you did this? Mr. Paul, how you came up to this? Mr. Paul, Mr. Paul, Mr. Paul. And we just shared with each other these experiences and ideas. And I really understood that this person is a really brilliant teacher, and that can make his audience just to be, let's say, in rough words, to be under his control. Because the way how he presented, so interesting, so, let's say, involving, that you don't think, you just feel it. You even don't think it. You just feel that. You want to feel like you want to be in that process. And he was interacting with, let's say, the audience, and everyone felt themselves like uncomfortable in the situation. No one like felt, oh, there are a lot of people looking at me. Oh no, everything was like in an atmosphere of comfortable. Everyone, as I said, chilled. Everything was perfect, and I was really glad that I came there and I was volunteered to that conference.
Rauf, what was the takeaway that you got from Paul Harvey and that you used?
Mr. Paul Harvey actually gave so many insights that I cannot actually count them right now.
Okay, the first which comes to your mind.
First which comes to my mind is the exercises that will make students to move. In reality, this is how it should be. those role plays, those exercises that will make them to create dialogues. This is something that he shared with me, and I started using it just as fast as possible, and I saw the result, and I was saying like, "Thank you, Mr. Paul Haver." I just forgot what I wanted to say to him. You know, I was like, "All right, thank you very much, thank you," because this was something precious. It was something that helped me to make students to be interested in what you teach. That's the essential idea. That was the outcome that I got there.
We have a comment.
Mhm.
He managed to make 300 teachers stand up and do one drama all
Yeah,
together during the TESOL conference in UK.
exactly.
300
Exactly.
teachers.
I saw already in Azerbaijan what was it. It was like whole audience, and it was also me because I was a volunteer, and I was really wondering what is going to be happening now. He said, "All right, guys, you're going to show, so let's say, word, let's say, love, without moving, let's say, your gestures. You just stand in the position. For example, one person just standed in this way, another person laid down under him to show like L. Another person, let's say, with another, let's say, friend, just they standed in the, together like in the O, and they created this whole word from, let's say, the whole body, and that was so interesting to see. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting, and they felt themselves really comfortable.
So
Like,
interactive. And
yeah,
this is something what you take inside your heart out of
exactly.
the conference.
To
You may
make
forget the
people,
material, the theoretical material, just the words, but you will never forget such feelings.
of course, you know, theory doesn't work if there is no practice. That's for sure. Uh, but what I understood from his lecture is that in his lectures it goes like theory and practice at the same time, and that makes something that will be unforgettable. Absolutely. And right now I also remember this, and I will never forget how those people came up to be like LOVE, and that was like a funny situation, and it was really a situation where you get inspiration. Like you kind of get understand like, wow, you can make people to feel themselves so comfortable that they can stand like in L, in O, in V, in anything.
Lie
Or
down under him.
yes, absolutely. And there's no problem. Some people say, oh my God, if I lie down, what others will think about me? Or what's going to happen if I do this? Come on, doesn't care. The learning process is never something you have to be shy about. Even, for example, if you teach in a very weird situation, it's not a problem. You can come out, for example, in the campings and teach there the math problems. Yes, it will be very uncomfortable for a student to write, but at least they will never forget that their teacher had a lesson outside the classroom, and they had that feeling that something new is happening here, or let's say something that will boost their emotions in the level that they actually will not forget. That's the main idea. That's actually the
Exactly.
outcome.
And of course, I must use this opportunity, as we mentioned, Mr. Paul Harvey, that SR Teaching and Learning will have the course, the second run of the use of drama in ELT with Paul Harvey next Monday. Dear
Great.
colleagues, dear audience, please follow the link in our profile. And the course starts next Monday. The seats are limited, only 25 teachers can participate at the same time from different countries, and there are already last seats available, so just make sure that you follow the link and check it out, check
I'll be
the
there.
agenda.
I'll be there for sure because I'm already ready to see some new drama techniques and new exercise lessons, lesson plans that really makes me to feel like, you know, upgraded, let's say, that you can already use new techniques and something that will help people. That's the essential part of every teaching process, to help people.
Rauf, and in the very beginning of our interview, you mentioned that you are also launching some new course. Was it the one which you said, which is going to be
It's
like
TED Talk.
separate
Yeah.
YouTube channel, right?
Yes, exactly. This is the course that I'm right now setting up. And of course, today in my Instagram, I also will publish again this email, this contacts that you can actually contact with me and to get the idea of what course it will be about through the 2 weeks in 2 weeks. And you can also sign up there, and because it will be the 2 hours masterclass, let's say the masterpiece, where I will show the techniques that will help you to feel yourself comfortable during the situation where you're going from the stage. Number 2 will be the situation, what actually public speaking is. There's the also, because people think, okay, public speaking is something that you come out to the stage and speak and that's it. No. Public speaking is something that you use it every day. And every day, for example, speaking, it's not only about like speaking in front of people. No. It also takes you to work on your, let's say, abilities to, let's say, give the material to make people understand. That's what actual public speaking itself is. But we'll go deeper there in 2 weeks, of course. 2 hours, we're going to talk about the whole public speaking techniques.
Exactly. This is not only for like professional life that you need to be able to feel confident or to put yourself in a confident mood, but this is only for also for private life as well. Because we are humans and we are speaking all the time. That's important to feel confident, of course. Rauf, thank you so much for your time. It took us a little bit longer, but it was impossible not to talk, you know, because it's very interesting and absolutely priceless insights. I would like to remind our audience, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook as TESOL in Poland, also SR Teaching, and also Rauf Instagram name.
It's pretty arrogant, but it is like your damn paradise. Yeah. Under slashes, basically.
All right, so under the video description, I will include all the names, of course, so it will be easy for guys to find us. Again, Rauf, thank you so much.
Thank you for welcoming.
Very, very more inspiration, you know, for even create more masterpieces, because you have great talent and just
thank you very much.
It's impressive.
I'm really thankful for this interview, and I really hope that everything will be fine and we'll get through this breakthrough that we have now, this COVID, this coronavirus. I really wish you the health first, and of course, I would like to see you in the future projects, let's say.
For sure, more to come. That's why, guys, follow us, because we will have more webinars, more interviews, more free events, marathons and courses, and many other activities. So stay with us, be tuned. Rauf, wishing you a very wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.